Okay, I bought a smoke machine off of Amazon. The cheapest one I could, well, not the cheapest, but real cheap. It's $89. It's got a built-in air compressor. So I'm just gonna go over it. So that's the air compressor button, air mode. That's the heat up the element mode. I think this is the cooling mode. The directions say something about after you run it for 10 minutes, it's gonna shut down and cool off. And I think that light will go on. Then you fill this up here, unscrew that, and it says to use this kind of baby oil with a pink label, and it comes with this bottle. So I filled this bottle all the way up to, you probably can't see it, but it says 100 milliliters. I guess it's milliliters. And I filled it up. I put one complete bottle, and then it went up to that level. So that's probably plenty of smoke. So it's plugged into a car battery. This hook came loose with it, so you can hang it on something. It's got this air hose. I'll start at this end. That plugs into here. So you just, let me see if I can do this with one hand. No, I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, you loosen that and push the air hose onto the fitting, then tighten that, so that keeps it tight. Here's the power supply. So now I'm gonna show you how it works. Do this, hopefully I can do this with one hand. So it takes about 30 seconds to heat up. 30 to 45, but anyway, it's already warm a little bit, I think, because I tried it, but here we go. So this dial right here, it's not clear in the directions, but this is a air pressure. So more air pressure or less air pressure. So to the right is less, to the counterclockwise is more. So I'm gonna push the air, turns on the compressor, push the smoke mode. So let's see how long it takes. So I don't know if it's heating up or not, so I'm gonna turn the pressure up. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm gonna turn it down. Turn off the smoke mode, because I don't need to heat it while I'm not using it. Turn off the compressor. Okay, well, according to my list, number 2 had the lowest compression. I got this apparatus I made up with the rubber hose. So that's why I made that, so I could plug that in. Nothing out of the exhaust. It's not very strong. You can't see it in the camera, but there is smoke coming out of here. So it is leaking by the valve a little bit. $80. I'm gonna put some oil in this cylinder. Went up to almost 120. The last video, the engine wouldn't shut off. Didn't turn on. Is that weird or what? If I connect this to here and the light works, the dial is backwards. Yeah. This light should go out when I start the engine, if that's true. So whoever sold the wire, the plug, is who put the diode in backwards. But I solved it, and I got an idiot light. Now it's also charging. It's Friday. I decided to tear apart this engine. I just need to know where to put all the parts. Okay, I got a table set up. I turn it around so when I drain this radiator or pull these hoses, it'll all run down this little slope here. Okay, I got the intake manifold off. Look at this. Took the alternator off, took the power steering pump off. I'm just gonna take the heads off and I'm gonna stop for today. Okay, I pulled the heads off. There's a ridge, there's a little ridge, like a fingernail ridge on all of them. Okay, we're at my house. The water leaking. And so this whole bathroom floor needs to be torn up. But the bad spot is right, you can see the leak. Anyway, we're gonna pull it up. Don't have a choice. I was getting ready to flip this engine, but I decided I'm gonna weld those two pieces in so I can do this. And then I put the 289 on the engine stand because I needed to put it somewhere. Okay, I welded it on. Okay, it worked. Not perfectly, but it worked. I'm just gonna explain what I'm doing. They won't come all the way out because there's a ridge. You hear it? So I'll show you what I'm doing about that. I'm also numbering these pistons. Just not that I have to, just that I don't want to lose track. So I'm putting a little number. So that's number 6, 5, 6, so on. Here's the tool that I'm going to take the ridge out with. And then I bought these dies. They came in this little case, but I guess I'm so old I can't hardly see the numbers, and they're like looking in a mirror. They're backwards, so I made this little block. So the white mark means that's the way I put it on. So for instance, if I put it on here, the white is marked going that way on that side of the tool. And then I also marked a box. I got a box. I'm just putting them in here. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's one I marked. I don't know if you can see it, but there's I marked it back. See the 5 right there? And see the scribble out mark down below it? That's because I used the 2, because the 2 I thought was a 5. So I had to go through and mark all these. And I made this because they just came loose like this. And it was useless to me. So that's where I'm at. So anyway, here's the tool. It says New Britain R175. So you just there's a rubber band on here, or a rubber piece that when you tighten this down, these 3 are going to expand. So I got it just about right. So the piston's all the way down. It just happens to work out just right. So I'm going to tighten this. Also, there's a hole right here. I don't know if you can see it. That'll keep it from spinning when you're tightening it. So there's a carbide bit right here. There's an adjusting bolt here. So this bolt will take it up against the cylinder wall. This bolt here adjusts the blade. So there's numbers on here, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going you can't see it from that angle, but I'm going to turn it to 1. Okay, now I got to wind this in. Let me make sure this is all the way down at the bottom. I'm not sure. I thought it. Make sure the piston's all the way down. Okay, this wasn't all the way down. Okay, so this is all the way down. Now the 3 legs are pushing against the cylinder. So you want this piece right here should be about here or a little higher. But so now I'm just going to loosen this, slide that up until it hits, and tighten it. Now I found out that the cylinders are a little bit out of round when you first start. So I'm just going to go where it's not hitting, and I'm going to adjust it one more time. So I'm pushing it up tight. So you can check in this finger hole here to see if you're up. It's actually going to be pretty good on this one. I think I can get the piston out now. This one I had to do more, but it took me a couple hours just to figure this thing out. It sounds stupid, but cylinders look really good. Okay, I pull the crankshaft out. What do you see? This one bearing is worn down to copper. This is on the timing cover side. The rest of them look okay. So over here, this is the same one. That one's worn, 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 worn. So that was going timing cover. Okay, I got the camshaft out. So let me see if I can get something to point with. They're all dirty, they're not clean. That's the cleanest one. Piece of metal. That could have came from anywhere. That could have came when I was reaming up the cylinders. I see another piece of metal in there. What is this down here? This was kind of stuck in there. I had to take a pry bar and go like that against these lobes to pop it out. Machine surface doesn't look bad on here. So the lifters, I can't pull them straight up. I'll screw up the bore. They need to go that way. So I'm going to tap them down. They're going to have to be replaced. I just want to see what this will do. Okay, I'll try to show you the cylinders. That's number one. There's no scores. That's 4. So the bad cylinders was 4 and 2. But there's no scoring. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. There's some like built up grime in here, but it's not scratched. And pull it out. And I expected to see it all rusted up, but it's not that bad. 1 and 4 were bad. So here's 2 and 4. You can see there's where I put the numbers on them. Number 2 right there. But there's no scoring on the piston. And 4. There's my number 4. No scoring on this. Maybe it'll just... You can't even feel it. So that's it. Then I was also talking about they have numbers on these. It's almost impossible to see from my old eyes, but each one of these is numbered. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a number on that one, but I can't. It's a 5. So that's 5. Yeah, so it's 5. That's the number I got on the box. So I was going to number them, but they were already numbered. I also made a cheat sheet for the crankshaft mains. So the chains on this end. So they're all marked, by the way. So I just made a little drawing. So that one's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then C20. So I know that I have to put it on like that. I mean, it's going to be obvious, but C20, C20. Let's just grab one more. I'm going to grab one of this. This one's marked 2 with an arrow pointing to the front towards the fan. That's 2, and I put the arrow on there also. So I'll just show you these real quick. So number 1, with some wear, see the copper. Number 2, I guess this is called the thrust bearing. I mean, that's all copper. I think that's worn through. I think it should be silver. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's copper. See, that's silver. I'm getting in the dark here. Copper, silver. Crankshaft. There's no grooves in this crankshaft. Anywhere. So my gut feeling is, not knowing what I'm doing, I just need new bearings for the crankshaft. I think the cam is worn out because it's all dirty and the lifters were kind of stuck. Bearings. So again, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do it myself. Because there was a ridge on these cylinders, do I need an oversized piston? That I don't know the answer to, but I will figure it out. Yeah, it's Tuesday after the holiday. So, no, today's Monday, the holiday. But anyway, I don't know where I left off, but I pulled the engine apart and I wanted to check the cylinder bores. I wanted to see if I could do it myself. So I spent some time figuring this out and I'm going to share it. So I went on Amazon and I bought this dial indicator bore gauge. Graduations 0.0005, that's 10 thousandths. So it comes, I'm going to go over this kind of quick. So it comes with this stuff here. And then I had to buy this, I think this is like 70 or 60 bucks. Then I had to buy a micrometer set to check my dial indicator. This was about, I can't remember, 90 bucks. Oh, anyway, there's all the sizes up to like 6-inch. I got this book and I looked it up. 302 bore is 4. Right there. So, the first question was, how do I know this is accurate? Well, in the micrometer kit set came these I don't know, go no go. So it's 4-inch. That is my cylinder width. So just for the heck of it, let's take this over here. I didn't think of this until now. Anyway, here's that 4-inch. Remember, I think I showed that I reamed these out, but, and again, this has got square edges on it. So it has to have a point, but you can see. So then I had to make sure that this was right. And it turns out it wasn't. I mean, it was off. But anyway, you just put this in here like this. And then once you know what your true 4-inch is, then you can set this. Watch this as I turn this. You notice this piece in here does not turn, only this. So that's the piece that needed to be adjusted. That's what was not clear in the instructions. So if I turn it over, you see that little groove there? That fits in there like that. Why do they make this thing? Because without this, I would watch a bunch of videos. The way they do is they sell a tool that holds this in place. And then you take this and you try to fit it in. So try doing this without this. It's a real bitch. Watch that dial. So as I'm tightening it, that's getting smaller. As I'm going the other way, it's getting bigger. You see it let off. So I'm going to go right exactly to 4-inch. My 0 lines up. Make sure this is centered. You can see the dial the best you can. Then, see, since I have a free hand, I can adjust this. Yeah, as usual. The problem is I don't know. Are they all leaking? I don't know. Or is this leaking? I don't think this is leaking. I think it's leaking by the valves or the valve stem. soapy water. I don't think it's leaking. I mean, I think it's leaking. Every single one of these is leaking. It's also leaking out of the valve stems. Every valve stem's leaking. Every valve is leaking. Every intake is leaking. I just wanted to check that just for the heck of it. So even if you're, so when you do a compression check, it could be your heads. So, I'm just thinking here, everyone is leaking with no pressure. I mean, just atmospheric pressure. I took the heads off and I can't remember which side is which. I thought I marked them, but I know that this was the ground on the driver's side. And this one is the passenger side. I know that because it's got a dipstick bracket. So what I want to see is the two bad cylinders were 2 and 4. Let's see, I got this backwards. These suckers are heavy. So let me see here. This is see, this is the dipstick bracket. I'm confused here. Let me think about this. Yeah, so this is the front. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. It's pouring out. This one's pouring out. Okay, so I moved the camera around to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is, I mean, they're all leaking, but the ones that is really leaking is 1 and 3. I mean, look at the levels. Amazing. So I'm going to dump it out of here. You see, looking at it, it's the intake. This was exhaust and intake. Exhaust and intake. That's amazing. Look at that. So imagine if you had a bunch of compression. I mean, that's, like I said, that's just atmospheric pressure. Put 120, which, I mean, that's what I had. I think it's supposed to be like 160. So I'm just going to stamp these just for me. 0, again, if I watch my own videos, 0 is driver's side rear towards the steering wheel, and this is passenger side. Let me think about this. And this is passenger side front. I know that because the dipstick tube, it was welded on, but it broke loose. So this is my number 1. So the question is now, what do I do? All the valves are leaking. Oh yeah, one more thing. I noticed there's freeze plugs in here too. There's freeze plug here, here. So there's 4 that I didn't take out. You know, I got a recorder. The iPhone has a voice recorder. I should just put the phone in my pocket, because I'm not going to remember all this. He's going to spit out a bunch of terms that I don't know. I'll just push record before I walk in, ask him a bunch of questions, pretend like I comprehend it, then get home and then digest it. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, well, this is still straight fresh in my brain. I did record it, by the way. I'll listen to it later. To get a valve job, they don't want the heads taken apart. Just bring them down. Depending if everything goes right, I mean, just labor. No, let's say the valves are good and so on, which they probably, anyway. 400 to 600 plus parts if you need springs or new valve seats or whatever. To bore it, which I thought was really reasonable, is 375 to bore the engine. To buy a I'm looking at notes right here. To buy a rebuild kit, you know, that'd be, if it's bored, you're going to need new pistons, new rings. $375. To get it boiled is like $200. Get it cleaned. Now, when I took the crankshaft apart, there was no grooves on the crank, but if you watch my video, they were worn on one side of the bearings. In other words, one side of the bearings was worn, one side wasn't. I asked her about that. She says, even though the crankshaft can look perfect, it's probably out of round, and that's why it's wearing on one side. It makes sense, you know, the compression stroke is going to push. So that's additional money. So the crank will probably have to be ground with new bearings. I think I need a new camshaft. I mean, the car is 60 years old, okay, so if you're thinking about doing what I'm doing and you're buying dial bore gauge because they're not very much. This is some things that I've learned. Again, I sent the one back and I'm getting a new one, but so you need to know your size of your cylinder and make sure that the dial bore gauge will fit that cylinder. The second thing is, will it fit these lifters? Because I know these are worn. So I know it won't fit these lifters. The other thing is, is it small enough? Does it have a small enough to check your cam bearings? So I'm not sure what that is right now, but like the first one I bought was 2 inch. I think that's more than 2 inch. That's my first thought. So on the next video, I'm going to measure all this stuff because I just have an interest in it and I want to understand it because I'm always looking for things to do. Also, I got a question. They always say to check your bearings on your, like these bearings right here, it should be torqued down. I want to do a test, just tighten them and then torque them to see if it really changes that much. Anyway, that's going to be my next video. I'm going to have to buy I think they call it a snap gauge to measure these. I just want to know what I'm talking about. I think that's it. So I've got to measure the cylinders, the cam bearings, the lifter holes, then measure the cam, measure the crank, measure all these rod bearings, measure the pistons, and then I think I'm going to take some of these rings off and see what the gap is. You know, there's what it's supposed to be and what it is with these worn out, just out of curiosity, because I'm pretty sure now that these pistons are useless. They're worn out. So as far as my understanding of this whole thing now, the pistons are no good because they're worn, because the cylinder's been worn. The crank bearing, the crankshaft needs to be bored, but you can probably save the rods. The camshaft I know is worn out. Same thing with these. Tighten these down and measure them. The crankshaft bearings. I want to know just hand tight and then torqued. I want to know if it changes that much. And what I'm going to do, I don't know. I think that the cheapest thing is just to, I don't know. I have to think about it. I'll think about it by the next video. Oh yeah, one more thing. I think I've had this in this video. I built this to check the vacuum. You saw that. All this is a piece of plexiglass. It's like, I don't know what it is, 1/4 inch. This is a piece of silicone gasket material or whatever. You can get it on Amazon. And this is just a fitting. You just drill a hole. And I ended up putting epoxy around it. And it seals. So a fitting, I'd say get a fitting that fits vacuum hose, drill a hole, epoxy it, let it sit overnight, a piece of plexiglass, and a piece of silicone rubber. This is like an 1/8 inch thick, 3/16. You might want to go thinner, I'm not sure. But it worked, you saw it.